Greetings YouTube, welcome to 0AD Newbie Rush with me, Jim Cogan, and something a bit special this week, or our regular Sunday game. I've had a match donated to me featuring a top roster of players. So 0AD Newbie Rush, often I feature some newer players, but every now and again I get the chance to feature quite a big roster of top players, and I always take the opportunity. We've started the game paused because I think there's 8 players, I'm going to run through them all for you. It's quite a short game, so you can imagine there's a fair bit of action, so I don't want to miss anything whilst introducing all the players, so we'll do that quickly. First of all, let's have a quick look at the map that we're on. This is the wonderful Hyrcanian Shores from the Balanced Maps mod, which I'll be featuring soon on the channel. So Hyrcanian Shores is basically a large stretch of green. To the left of the map you have a shoreline and a whole load of water teeming, absolutely busting full of fish there, so fishing, often a good food gathering pursuit. We have 4 players per team, and they are split evenly down the middle, north and south. To the right of the map we have lots of extra wood lines, lots of space, lots of resources, pockets of hunt. You will also notice around the map there are these little relic things which give whoever captures them, you know, little bits of an advantageous bonus. For instance, this one has an improved garrison heal rate, and all enemy female citizens are less than, minus 15% gather rate, so they boost you. Sometimes they hurt the opposition. There are 10 of these relics dotted around, spread evenly throughout the map, although strange concentration of 3 of them right there. So there are other things to look out for. You capture a relic, you can give yourself an advantage. Let's look at the players. So the team in the north of the map, team 1, are all centered in a group of 4 here. We'll start at the very back. First off, in the yellow, I never know how to pronounce it. Is it AOW or AO? We'll go with AO. In the yellow, playing as the Britons. Rating, no rating in the game, but he's been in enough of these big games. His rating would technically be high, so that's AO in the yellow playing as the Britons. Alongside him in the purple, another person who I don't quite know how to pronounce their name. Is it ISSH or Ish? I'm going to go with Ish. Ish submitted this game and quite a few other games to me, so big thanks to Ish. He's playing in the purple as the Morians, also hiding his rating. You would have to say his rating would be high as well. Moving forward, we have playing in the grey as the Iberians, Physic, rated at the time of this game, which was a few months back, 1874. Iberians with the walls, very good defensive structure, and a player known for somewhat gratuitous cavalry strategy, attack strategy. So looking forward to seeing Physic play. And in the blue, Extreme 22, playing as the Romans, rated 1,453 at the time of this game, maybe higher now. I've seen him play a few times, tidy player, looking forward to seeing him too. So Extreme 22 in the blue as the Romans. We then have this sort of no man's land in the middle of the map. A few more relics dotted around, one just here outside of one of the players' territories, so that's a good thing to go for. Team 2 in the south of the map, in the red, we have Havran playing as the Persians, rated 1,703. Havran, very aggressive player, seen him play a few times. Strangely enough, I've never seen him win. I've seen him seemingly single-handedly almost take down 2 or 3 opponents and then either be let down by teammates who drop the ball or overstretch himself. Great player, no doubt, and the rating to prove it, but I've never actually witnessed a game where he won. So whether today will be an exception, I do not know. Playing in the cyan or the light blue is Uprocket, playing as the Seleucids, rated 1,639. Never seen Uprocket play before. Don't know anything about his typical strategies or anything. Very interested to see how he does. Moving down in this bottom quadrant, also playing as the Romans in the orange, it is Christian, rated 1669 at the time of this game. I think I've seen Christian play a few times. Pretty tidy player, someone to be respected. And moving across in the green, also playing as the Romans, one of the top players in the game, certainly one of the top characters in the game, for Pre in the green, Romans, rated 1830. Very interested to see how he shapes up. So it's quite an interestingly balanced game. I'm not sure who you would say would have the advantage. There is good balance. These are all good players. And it remains to be seen whose strategy will come out on top. What we'll do is we will start the game. No more waffle. Let's get on with it. Here we go. So let's look at how the various players develop early on. So all fairly typical strategies. You know you're going to get either 5 or 6 women coming out of the CC straight away. Primary decisions: do you build a farmstead or do you start gathering berries straight away? Do you go straight down with a storehouse as AO is doing here? Morians may have the advantage. They have the elephant, which means you don't have to build, you can build one less building effectively early on. It's gone for the farmstead. Everybody usually seems to go for the farmstead. As you can see, AO is now putting his down after getting some food early on just to bolster the figures. We're seeing some scouting here from AO with the attack dog. Very good strategy as playing at the Britons. You get like an extra scout. It doesn't have as good vision, but you can sort of scout immediately around your base quite effectively. He will have found this pocket of hunt here, which will be very useful. Maybe we will see a cavalry heavy strategy. Let's have a look, see how Ish is doing. He has farmstead downs, building houses, not going with the storehouse because of the elephant churning out the female citizens, although typically when I click on him it was not. Now he's producing them. Let's look further down. In the blue we have Extreme 22, who has gone for a very rudimentary approach. House going down first, no storehouse, no farmstead just yet. Interesting approach. Does free up resources for producing more citizens, but ultimately you've got to put the buildings down. We're seeing an early barracks over here right on the extreme. I guess he didn't have any great natural wood lines, and this is the nearest one, so this will expand his territory here. He's also got some berries just out of sight, so that's pretty good. You can see why he's done that. Iberians, not a lot of wood within the CC, but a huge wood line just outside it. I imagine that will get exploited very, very quickly. And at the moment we see Physic. Is he producing? It's all women at the moment. We have a farmstead inside, and we're going to probably see, I think we're going to, where are they going? They're having a little wander. Interesting. Physic has gone straight for the dock, so there is fish in the very nearby vicinity, lots and lots of it. I mean, this whole shore is teeming with fish, so that's an interesting move. He's gone for the dock. Let's have a look at Team 3. Moving further south, here is Havran, Persians in the red, so already quite an industrious approach starting. We have the farmstead with the berries being collected. We also have another farmstead here to capitalise on this nearby hunt, so that will get built, and then the hunting cavalry units won't have as far to go. We have, what we got there? Cavalry stables. So Havran looks like he could possibly be looking at Cav as a way to go. Indeed, he is producing some more at the moment. If you were to say Ish has produced the most cavalry, although Christian down at the bottom, we'll look at him in just a second, is also popping cavalry out. Moving across here in the light blue, rockets, Seleucids. as we see some scouting at Tavern, scouting and hunting towards the north there in that kind of no man's land. Rocket Seleucid's gone straight into the farming, utilising some quite useful nearby woodlines, although it's shared with Havran, so he will have to spread out a bit. He's got other woodlines just to the south. They are just a little bit out of reach, but a huge amount of hunt over here, so quite well blessed for the food if he finds them. Some idle women. They're now moving towards the farm. It was only a few seconds, so we'll let him off with that. So a farming enterprise going up there. Let's move further south. Christian in the orange, who, as I said, is definitely going for cavalry. He's up to 10. There's an arms race going on. Looks like Ish is definitely going for cavalry as well. Capitalising on the hunt. We will probably see a clash there. Just have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't kick off when we're looking at the wrong corner of the map. Very easy to do on these larger, taller maps with the teams where they are. So we have Christian here, obviously, like I said, a cav-centric approach, collecting a lot of food. Typical elsewhere. We do have barracks up now. We're seeing the barracks go up all over the place. They're starting to produce infantry. Decent woodline within his territory, so a couple of good natural advantages there. Finally moving over to Fapri, who has pretty much probably the pick of the woodlines. He's got two just on his border, a shared one here, one to the north, which he is exploiting now. He's got the natural barrier of Havran's base ahead, so he can basically send lots of female citizens here without too much fear, unless a very, very sneaky surprise attack comes in. There are plenty of time to get them to safety. Let's have a look at the populations. So 3 players currently on 50, Rocket has just slipped into the lead with 55. Christian not far behind with 52. Ish now pulled level 52. And in terms of the Cav, a few other players sort of making a play for Cav as well. Extreme 22 has got a sizable cavalry of around 8. Ish has got around 9. Havran has increased his to 10, and that is level with Christian, who's also got 10. So a bit of an arms race as far as cavalry going on. Physic, who I said was quite known for cavalry, has only got 4. Does not look like he is going for an all-out early attack with cavalry. It's mostly for food. And who else have we got here? Extreme and AO, so 8 and 6 respectively for cavalry. Levels of infantry here. Christian's got 10, so he's going for one of the biggest cavalries and currently the biggest infantry. Ish doing something very similar, and Extreme favouring the cavalry. It's 12, but he's also got 12 infantry, 8 cav. It's still a Rocket leading in terms of population, but it's there's literally only 10 population units between them. Currently, Extreme is falling behind a little bit, but he just popped out some new players. He's got it up to 60, so it's changing all the time. For Pre down at the bottom now with just 50. It's a little bit slow by his standards. Are we going to see some raiding fairly soon? We're keeping an eye. You get the feeling when it kicks off, it's going to kick off mightily quick. Are the players on the front line here the ones favouring cavalry? So Havran certainly is. Rocket definitely is not. So will that be a vulnerability for him? Looking across to the north, we know that Extreme has a small amount of cavalry. He's got 8. And we know Physic has only got 6. So the frontline players on this side of the map not favouring the cavalry for their approach. It seems to be the players holding back near, right at the back there. I guess there is some logic to that. If you're at the back, you're less likely to be attacked from a sort of full frontal raid. You've probably got more scope to produce female citizens and then focus the rest of your resources on cav. We are looking at AO at the moment, who has only gone for a moderate cavalry of 6. Next to him is Ish, who has got the joint biggest cavalry. Physic suddenly has sprung out 13 cavalry altogether. So take that all back. Physic definitely fancies it. Havran is doing a bit of raiding, and we're also seeing movement of cavalry everywhere. So in the blue, Extreme is heading south. Is he scouting? Havran's hunting in the middle, stalking an ominous presence there. In the meantime, has anybody else gone for docks? It looks like it's just Physic at the moment who's done docks. Oh no, tell a lie, Fapri has built a dock down here, and he's got fishing boats on the way as well. Population-wise, it is now Havran who is leading. Only just again, there's nothing in it. Literally 10 separating the lowest population from the highest. Highest infantry by a considerable margin at the moment is Extreme, and somebody has phased up. Extreme has also phased up. So phasing up with 77 population on 8 minutes. Interesting early tactic there. That's probably about the earliest you would expect anybody to go, and he has gone for it. He's also got the largest infantry, as I said. We are waiting. We know it's going to kick off somewhere. There's going to be a confrontation somewhere, probably a Cav confrontation, but who is it going to be? Havran is looking menacing in the middle. He's also seen these relics, whether he will bring them under his control and get the advantage that they give. I've never really played a relic game, so I don't quite know the best way to utilize them. He knows it's there. He's trying to get the capture. Yep, the capture is happening. We will witness a relic capture here. What does this particular relic give him? It gives him 10% resource cost of, less than, minus 10% resource cost on all technologies. So that is not bad. All your upgrades and everything will be 10% cheaper. Definitely worth getting. And got it he has, and he's now positioning that relic. It's basically like a horse with a little cart thing. Looks like a trader, but you move it safely into your base, and that advantage is yours. Now, are we seeing more hunt, or are we seeing a raid here? Somebody's going to push the button on it soon, surely. We're seeing Ish has he just been raiding, or is he scouting through? That is an ominous amount of troops. He would have come all the way from here down to here. Only one kill registered, and that was for AO, so I don't know if that was he killed a scout. Nobody's actually pushing the button on an attack at the moment. Population-wise, Christian has now moved into the lead with 109, and Fapri has also phased up with even fewer troops than... we do have an incursion. This is AO with a small group of cavalry being pursued by a considerably larger group of cavalry of Havrans, and he's coming round to hassle Fapri. And Fapri has a few soft targets there. There's quite a few female citizens collecting the woods. Is this going to be bad news? I'm hastily keeping an eye on this and looking at other developments in case anybody does a raid. There is a... No, it's not a raid. It's just a load of cav going to the top. I'm trying to capture a relic as well. In the meantime, AO has successfully killed 6, and this will be a mix of Fapri's and Havran's soldiers, although Fapri has killed 5, so it hasn't really slowed anything down. Havran is patrolling around presumably looking for trouble, looking for anybody trying to sneak a march. Doesn't look like anything else is coming. AO's raid, I don't think, has slowed Fapri down. Very interesting that Extreme is up to about 50 infantry, so he is definitely setting himself up as an infantry force. Havran has a tiny infantry by comparison, only 15 troops, but 14 cav. Only the 1 kill to his name, so I think if they see a scout, they are basically dispatching them. We have a warship. It's a medium-sized warship. So Physic really did go for went for the dock early. He's got the biggest cavalry at the moment. I'm not quite sure where they're hiding. I think they're stalking around looking for some of the relics. We have more players phasing up now. So Physic has gone up to phase 2. Extreme went up first. We are seeing Rocket, Havran and Fapri have all phased up. Christian, Ish and AO. Oh, Ish has just phased up now. Population wise, there is a split between... Oh no, Rocket has just moved into the lead with 124. Trailing him slightly is Ish. Behind him is Christian, who has moved within 2 of the lead. Largest infantry still by far is Extreme 22s with 59. Havran is now starting to put the rocket down on his infantry. He's up to 23 now, so it's got the cavalry and he's now building up the infantry. We will start to see phase 2 building. So this is Havran putting a market down. Getting to phase 3 is always critical. At the moment, only AO at the top there has not phased up. Have we got an incursion?
Yeah, see?
A little bit of an incursion by Physic. And there are also some of Extreme's cavalry hanging around here trying to capture the relic. They're all looking for the relics. I'm not quite sure what Havran is doing. Is he looking for relics or is he patrolling? Looks like Physic has found a relic as well. This one is... What do we get for this? Plus 5% health and minus 10% resource cost for all buildings. That's another good one. He'll be sending that back in. And I'm pretty sure these guys are amassing with bad intentions over here, you'd have to say. Only minor skirmishes so far, no all-out combat. Although Havran has cav down here, these could run into each other. And indeed they are. We're going to see some conflict here. Maybe a passing skirmish, but looks like Physic has got the drop on Havran's horses. They're just going through one at a time. This could be a bit of a slaughter. Indeed, it looks like Physic is popping off those horses pretty quick. So, not good for Havran's cavalry forces. They are being decimated. And the survivors are now being chased away by the cavalry of Extreme in the blue, who has strayed into the territory of Uprocket. Now, will we see... they're still giving chase. There's a lot of women here. This could be a slaughter. There's... yeah, that could have been nasty, but there are also a lot of infantry and raged infantry. Extreme's forces are on the move a bit. We are seeing, we've seen the first really aggressive act. We've seen an entrenched military colony up here. And we're seeing siege already from Extreme, who has phased up to phase 3 early. That was evidently part of his plan to get up there and get siege out. But we're now seeing our first proper battle. First proper battle in the middle. But at the same time, we're also seeing Physic raiding Christian. And we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll flick back to this conflict in the middle. We can't be in 2 places at once, sadly. So, yeah, so Uprocket is taking a bit of a pasting from this little incursion by Extreme, and siege is coming in. Physic has been massively raiding, but Christian in the orange has a cav of his own that he is employing to chase them away. Physic has withdrawn. There is still small amounts of skirmish going on. There is one lone siege engine moving towards the tower. I don't know how far it's going to get. Nobody seems to have noticed it yet. There are some spearmen coming in on it. It's going to try and take out this tower. He's been a bit slow to react to that as Physic comes round again and pooling his forces here, swapping out his cav. He's trying to protect this. He can sense some kills here while they're trying to take down this ram. The tower is gone, so Physic's capitalising on Rocket's distraction by the ram. Let's zip around, see if anybody else is planning anything massive. We are focusing on this at the moment. He's about to lose another tower if he's not careful. Physic has pulled out, and now it's going to be Extreme who's coming in to support the ram. Looks like Rocket does not have a huge concentration of forces who can stop the ram easily. He has now... Has he got any sword cav? He's got a little bit of... Yeah, there's some sword cav going in now, so the ram should be stopped in its tracks fairly soon. But following it up, there are another 3 rams and forces from Ish and forces from. It's a 3-pronged attack. We've got cavalry from physics, infantry from extreme, and cavalry from Ish as well. And they're all piling down on this sort of makeshift force. It's mostly Uprocket who is taking a bit of a battering, supported a little bit by Christian. But Uprocket, obviously his population has plummeted. It's down to 115 and falling. Infantry down to the mid-40s and falling also. No cavalry. He's in trouble. He hasn't upgraded, hasn't phased up to 3. At the moment, we've seen Ish and Extreme both in phase 3. For Pre, the only person from the southern team here up to phase 3, but not seemingly looking to support. Getting some support from Havran here. This is becoming a focal point. Now, we don't want to be distracted by this. This is happening now, and they're obviously ganging up on Uprocket. They're seeing him as a point of weakness. They're piling in. I think that CC is going down. There's just too many rams, too much support, not enough support from Team 2 to stop it. I think they've given this over. So a well-coordinated attack by 3 players from the team in the north of the map. That's good play. There goes the CC. What does Uprocket do? He is down to a population of 59. He is in enormous trouble. There is a lot of space. He's already building a replacement CC and it's well out of the way. But a comprehensive first decisive battle for Team 1. And yeah, have they basically given themselves enough advantage to carry through? It looks like Ish is following this exodus of people to the new CC that's being built and picking up kills all the time. Physics still currently our top killer with 90 kills. Ish not far behind with 60, and I think he's going to get a few more here. These are female citizens waiting to be slaughtered. And even up here they're running straight into archers. Down here they're running into cav. They are a distraction, but what kind of population is Uprocket will be left with? 15, and he's got a CC. He can rebuild from there. It's a good position, but his infrastructure is smashed. In the meantime, the Rams are pressing into Havran's territory. Havran will not be happy about this. He'll be very concerned. Another entrenched military colony by Extreme goes down. Very aggressive early play, and we're starting to see AO produce his forwards. Sizable amounts of infantry. We're seeing elephants from Ish, so they're not holding back. They've smelt blood and they are going in for the kill here. Can Fapri and Christian actually provide support and stop this? This is what they need to be doing. Fapri looking very insular at the moment, despite having a sizable population. Fapri and Christian been fairly isolated from the conflict so far, gathering small amounts of forces. They've been looking for relics. Christian's got 2 near his base, but seemingly not looking to support. Fapri has got a load of infantry that are now marauding up there. Christian is trying to secure those borders. They know where Uprocket has ended up. He's got to start all over again, basically. He's got his population back up to 24, but a very difficult task. But this is where the danger is happening. This is a full-on strike on Havran's territory. It is multifaceted. We have troops and elephants from Ish. We have infantry and rams from Extreme. We have infantry coming in from AO and more rams from Extreme, and cavalry from Physic, who is ripping in now. Fapri has got a small force in there. It's only about 20 and they're being decimated. Havran has got a contingent in there, but his population will now start to fall. It's down to 135 and falling. Physic and Ish are notching up the kills. Extreme and Ish are starting to take down the buildings. Fapri is supporting. They're trying to keep them back, slow down the momentum, but there's just too many rams. They got This is really good play from Extreme. He got to phase 3 faster than anyone, produced the rounds, and then basically gave the signal, and his colleagues supported him. So he's already effectively knocked over the effectiveness of one opponent, and it looks like he's trying to do the same for Havran. Havran is being supported better by his teammates, but is it too late? Is there just too much coming in? Keeping an eye out for any sneaky surprise attacks. I don't know where that ship went. Oh, who's this? This is Fapri, who's got a warship, unmanned, keeping an eye. He's got 2 warships, nothing in it. But it looks like they sank that ship of Physics. But Physics has decided that the way to win this is straight through the middle. The Rams are closing in on Havran's CC now. They lose 2 players CC. This looks really terrible for the team in the south, Team 2. Christian's starting to send some forces in, but it's small pockets of forces. Nothing like what is being thrown at them from the team up north. Dozens and dozens of Rams. It's like a production line of Rams produced by Extreme. Roman Rams are particularly nasty. They've captured this temple, and this CC's coming down. There is nothing going to save that. So Havran has taken a pasting as well at the hand of this coordinated group of 3 players. Well, it's now all of them, basically. The whole of the team in the north are contributing to this. They've all got a high number of kills. I'm very impressed with Extreme in the way that he has basically taken the responsibility for the production of the Rams. He's produced so many so quickly. Gave the order and they all charged in. Havran's base looking absolutely demolished. There is small support coming from Fapri and more sizable support now coming from Christian. But I mean, you're arriving after the destruction and desolation has occurred. So, yeah, Havran's population now down to 45. So 2 of the teams have effectively been decapitated. Is Havran going to be able to be a force again? Is he trying to build a new CC? It's hard to see where he could go. He can sort of move into the neutral territory over this side. There is a lot of space, but it's a long way to walk. Other than that, you're wedged between Capri and the ocean, and there isn't a natural gap. I guess he could possibly try and build one on the shores, but you're then open to massive attack. Havran's population down to 27. There is the exodus of citizens. They're trying to find a gap to go and rebuild. They've got to go the long way round if they go that way. There isn't a bit of neutral territory till you get over here somewhere. And then you're into, yeah, you're basically over on the hills to the side of Christian space. It's a long way to go. There is resources, it is doable, but you wouldn't really want to go all the way over there. Havran is still making a fight of it here, but he has literally no infantry. Those 27 on in, which is trying to move his relic through. And the focus of the attack is now coming down on Fapri. I think the momentum of this attack is so great, it's going to carry it through. If Fapri goes, then the game is up, basically. Christian's been largely untouched, but there is now incursions coming from the north. They're smashing up what's left of Uprocket's original base. The next logical target is to head south and rip through Christian's base. And at the moment, they've already closed in on Fapri. What can Fapri do? His population has now fallen. His population is down to 99. The only person with a considerable army, and even that isn't a great army, is Christian. But yeah, just totally being overwhelmed. This is far more one-sided than I was expecting. So I am quite surprised. I'm quite shocked by this. This CC is coming down. There it goes. There it goes. So seemingly Fapri and Christian were powerless to stop this wave of relentless assault. They are now moving into Christian's territory. It's been a brutal, coordinated attack. Absolutely, seemingly nothing that Fapri, Christian, Havran and Uprocket could do to halt this momentum. What happens now? Do people start resigning? What has Fabri got left? He's got 90, population's 87, 86 and falling, next to no infantry. Christian didn't have a big infantry to start with. It's down to 35 as infantry with a population of 105, which suggests all of that infantry, all of that is basically female citizens, so I can't see where any resistance is going to come from here. I think we're going to see resignations pretty soon. The game looks lost, doesn't it? It looks they've just been outplayed. Yeah, look at those kill counts. It looks like Physic and there goes Fabri. Fabri has resigned. He's seen that the writing was on the wall, and anybody else going to follow suit? Yeah, Havran has resigned and Christian has resigned. So there we go. All that you are left with is a small population here of Uprocket. No real military strength there. He's got his population back up to 80, infantry of 42. And we'll watch this through to the end. The replay will end soon. We do not see a resignation from Uprocket. I think we see a host disconnection, but the game is lost for Team 2. Massive, massive victory for AO, Ish, Physic and Extreme. Crushing victory. There we go. Let's have a look at how that was won. That was pretty quick fire. When the end came, it was really brutal. Let's have a look at the units raised. It's all pretty across the board. They were all very, very skilled players in terms of building their population. The speed with which Siege came out, if we look at when the first fortress went up. So fortresses went up round about the 17 to 20 minute mark. When did the first lot of siege units come out? Because they seem to have a massive bearing. So yeah, from the entrenched military camp, round about the quarter of an hour mark, Extreme just began spamming out siege engines. How many did he produce in the end? 31 siege engines. Nobody else really produced any siege. I know Ish produced a few elephants. Cavalry, I did say at the start, Physic was known for his crazy ability to generate cavalry, and he did, and they were extremely effective. Christian did also produce a similar amount of cavalry, more in fact, but it was not effective. But I think it was literally the Extreme got put in charge of producing the battering rams. He produced them aplenty, and then at one point they all just rolled in, and there was an opening there. They knocked over Rocket, they knocked over Havran, and they slaughtered Fabri and crushed Christian. It was brutal. Let's look at the scores. So a considerable team score victory for Team 1. Top scorer there, without doubt, Physic. His marauding cavalry. It was so straight at the start. I thought he was not going to go down the cavalry route, but then reverted to type, and we saw why he is admired for that style of play. So an overall high score of any of the players there, managed to get 8,313. Christian, despite not really engaging any cavalry aspect because his economy was mostly, the last one to be destroyed, got the second, got the highest score on the team of the south. AO and Ish very close. In fact, all of the rest of the team registered 7,000 plus scores. So yeah, it was, you'd have to say, it was on balance quite one-sided. Good old kill-death ratio. Look at that. A kill-death ratio of 17.92 for Ish. That is murderous. So didn't get the most kills per se. That went to Physic. But for only losing 13 troops, killing 233, that is ridiculous. ridiculous genocidal murder from Ish there. That is brilliant. 17.92 in a game full of players who are all rated above 1600. That was a hell of a performance. Picked his targets well. A lot of his victims will have been Rocket's defenseless female citizens and Havran's sort of stragglers there. But that is impressive all the same. Let's have a look who got the tech. So AO went for the most tech. Everybody kind of armed themselves up. A bit disappointing in terms of tech upgrades on Team 2. That does explain why perhaps they were a little weaker when it came to the siege stage of the game. I am really surprised. For Havran, certainly noted for fast development. They appear to have been caught completely cold. Rocket and Havran were on the front line and they were going to see the action first. They didn't appear to really focus on being defensive, and at the same time they were not as aggressive as Extreme and Physic and Ish. So very, very strange indeed. But awesome game, really exciting game. If you ever wanted to see some teamwork in action and a real coordinated sort of hammer blow victory, then yeah, you could do far worse than study how Team 1 played in this game. Really, really good game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary and tutorials on 0AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.